I'm here with Wade Bekesi, and we are recording the Full Landscape, episode number 4. Wade works in credit management, and today we're going to be talking all things credit management, budgets, collections, cash, tips and tricks for saving money and teaching your children about money. So really hope you enjoy it.
Y'all ready to turn it up tonight? If you really wanna fly, hands in the air, let the music get you high.
Just listening to audio is much easier. I find it easier to be able to listen
For
to.
you it is,
Yeah.
because you're a hustler.
I want to be busy.
Well, you will be. You're in your car. You're all good, DK? You're catching everything? So you're driving or whatever, but there'd be people that are like sitting in front of their TV. Sitting, just excuse Google while she?
Is it
Is Google asexual?
How are you finding your Google?
It's getting better. I like it. Because you're driving to appointments or flying and you can record podcasts and whatever else, it's easier because you can have it as a thing. I mean, it's not new. Gary V talks about it. See my Gary V shoes?
Oh, in there. Is that what the house? Okay.
These are going to feature in every podcast.
Got the Gary V shoes.
They're Gary V 001s.
Chris own shoes.
Pretty crazy, eh?
He's a legend.
I listened to
I know you're addicted to
about
Gary V.
2 hours. I was talking to DK about it the other day. I'm
You-
definitely addicted to get what Gary V's about now. I've probably listened to enough of his stuff to
Yeah, but you got to obsess on it for a while.
Yeah.
Understand it.
And
Regurgitate
I know
it
it all. No, not at all. I know all his spiel. The only thing that I'm ever going to get from Gary V moving forward is new tips. So yesterday he dropped on one of his audios a new app called... No. Where is it? It's a new social app, Vero. Vero?
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
Vero.
So I downloaded that and started having a play around it with it.
Okay.
I guess VERO. I think it's going to come as a, with all the stuff that's happening now with Facebook and Snapchat and, delete Snapchat over the Rihanna Chris Brown. Was it your Rihanna Chris Brown thing? Did you see that?
No.
So-
I don't follow Snapchat.
So Snapchat did a. I'm not. Look, I don't use it for where this was discovered, but Rihanna and Chris Brown. That was like, well, it was like a survey. Would you rather slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown in the face? And like there was outrage because it was like making light of what was happening in their relationship. So yeah, there was this massive hashtag delete Snapchat thing, and then when Facebook released were caught
with
sharing
the Trump
data.
stuff.
So I think there might be some little micro social networks pop up,
Hmm.
and then one of them might win. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
I don't think they could beat. I'm wondering how.
Well, Facebook's only had its first decline ever.
Yeah, ever recently.
But still,
But what do they call a decline? Like I haven't looked at the actual
if
detail
it's
of that.
whatever it is, if it's a percentage, it is a decline. But when you go from 3 billion international users to 3 or 2.9999,
Yeah.
So
How significant can it be? And I don't think that news made me.
Well, you didn't even know about Snapchat,
Not the Snapchat
and I didn't
one, no.
change my behaviour on Facebook at all
No.
because I'm comfortable with the fact that my whole life's in the public eye. So aside from stealing like my banking data, who cares if people know what I like? I mean, I'll tell you now.
That's right.
Anyway, we should probably get down and dirty. So, for those of you listening, I'm sitting with Wade Bekesi, who I guess wears a few hats. I'll let him explain, I guess, that a bit further on. But prior to moving into what you do now, I guess I'm interested, for me personally, to know, I guess, a bit about your background, your schooling. Did you finish high school, and was it always meant to be what you're doing, or did you fall into it? Tell us a bit about your
sure.
childhood and past.
So Wade Bekesi, current managing director, Mercantile CPA, credit protection agency. So to follow on from your question in regards to high school, did I finish high school? Yes,
Yep.
1998.
Yep.
Graduated. My approach to high school was to complete it at a satisfactory level.
Yep.
Okay. The consideration at that point in time was to get a job in sales and become really good at sales.
So what's satisfactory, like an 85 or an 80 TR or pass?
A pass.
Yep.
Pass at that
Yep.
stage, just so if I wanted to take up university
Yep.
studies, I could.
But there was no plan to go to university because you knew you were going to go into
There
sales.
was never any consideration to
Yep.
go into university. The consideration was always to start my own business.
Yep. And how did that come about? Is he all right with it?
Oh,
Was
you want
that-
it, you want
yeah.
it closer? Is that
Was
what
that-
you're
yeah.
saying? Sorry.
Was
Okay.
the so was sales something that you'd learnt growing up, or like
Yeah,
was
so
there
I
a
suppose
a family member that was in sales, or how did it come about?
No, to have any successful business, I noticed by watching a lot of TV that people that had control, they had money, and they had businesses. Okay, and any good successful business person has to be good at sales.
Sales first, I agree.
Yeah. So they're going to sell themselves. They're going to sell their business.
Yep.
And I always knew that if I could sell myself, it didn't really matter what company I was aligned with.
Yep.
I could always feed myself.
That's pretty cool to have that much self-awareness that early. To know that, I definitely didn't. I wasn't aware of any of that. I felt like I kind of just. I kept saying yes. So opportunities arose. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. It was
Yeah.
never. There was never really any great plan.
Okay.
Okay, so finish year 12. Did you go straight into a job off the back of that, or were you working through high school?
My first job was like 12, so
Yep.
I had three jobs: the paper round, the paper delivery, then cleaning at a butcher store.
That would have been interesting.
That was interesting.
Yep.
That sort of put me off, continuing down becoming a butcher.
Yep.
Most of them are bald and losing their hair because of all the acids that come out of the
Yeah,
meat. So
I didn't
it's,
even think about that.
It's
And
not
the
very
cleaning
good.
chemicals.
Yeah, it's not a good place. But it was a good place to save money,
Yep.
create money, and put it away for the future.
And learn responsibility, get to work on time.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
All those type of things. And then Hungry Jack's worked there as well. That's probably a very interesting thing to talk about. Is what I learnt there was the systems.
Yeah. I
Okay,
agree.
it's a very good system. So it's like working at McDonald's,
Yep.
KFC.
I was at
one of those.
Domino's, so I
Yeah.
yep, I get it.
So if you get the system, then if you get good at that and you can implement those systems in your business, that your business could run potentially
So
without
you recognise the systems, the quality of their systems, and then so now, I mean, I find now I'm reflecting back, like my guys have to answer the phones within 3 rings. That was a Domino's thing that I just can't. It's ingrained in me because it was yelled and yelled. Answer the phones, answer the phones. I'm guessing there'd be things that you would have learned at Hungry Jack's that maybe not like directly parallel.
Each person in the business has a good skill set, right?
Yep.
And if you can get those right skill sets in
Yep.
the right area in your business, I mean, it's an ongoing learning process for my business.
Yeah.
But if you can get it right, you can produce whatever that product is the same way, at least consistent 99% of the time.
So Hungry Jack's was a high school, I guess a part-time job while you were studying.
Yeah, no, I actually got kicked out of high school for 6 months.
Okay.
And so that gave me an opportunity to
Can
work.
we explore that? Was that educational or delinquency, or would you?
That would probably
Is
be
it on the internet?
That would probably be enterprising.
Okay, so
starting my own business.
yeah, no worries. Well, we won't drill into any more into that, considering that I know Wade has some pretty high-profile clients, and we probably don't want to explore that any further. But
it was a good grounding.
well, it's interesting because whatever you were enterprising in, and I've got a good idea of what it was, it just keeps pointing in the direction of wanting to be a self-made person and
Correct.
like not be reliant on anyone else, and buying and selling in any way, if that's the way it was, that's in its purest form almost. But then if you can do it that way and not get it kicked out of school, then you can do anything.
That's right.
So
So full-time Hungry Jack's, saved up, bought my first car with the money. So I put it into.
so you bought your car cash,
Correct.
bought your whole
Yep.
car. Yep.
Yeah, spent like $9,000
Yep.
back in '96.
That's a lot of money for a car, for a first car.
for a first car.
in '96.
Correct.
I
So I was obsessed with the car. I did everything I possibly
wanted
could
it.
to buy that car.
So that was a goal. Were you
Achieved
writing goals back down that far back, or was it you just knew?
I would
that's
have
what
a
you only had
picture.
one,
I would
but
have
yep.
a book. I would have every single paraphernalia around my goal.
So you were surrounded by the goal.
I obsess about
Yep.
whatever I'm going to achieve.
Yep.
So as long as I find it motivating enough
Yep.
to wake up.
Are you
go
still
to
a car
sleep
guy?
thinking- Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
So I've actually got that car again.
So you bought the exact car or the same model?
The exact car did the exact same thing.
As in like the same VIN?
Yeah.
No shit, you found it?
Oh
No, but the same car. That's
no,
what I'm
the
getting
same
at.
car.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I got the same VIN, but
Yeah.
the
But
story,
you've got the same
story
car.
behind that car is that it got stolen
Yep.
and it got burned
Yep.
and
Oh,
it
so you
got
can't-
trashed.
yeah, okay.
So I couldn't actually. Otherwise, I'd probably still have it today.
Yep.
And I wouldn't have had to repeat my goal.
But you had that was missing. You wanted
Of
that
course.
car.
Yeah,
what
it
is
was
it?
one of those things
car-
that
with the
to
big
get
car
me to the
people
next
listening?
level of where I was at that point in time 4 or 5 years ago
Yep.
was okay. Was my business going in the right way? Was I attracting the right amount of people around me successfully enough? Was I, was I in the right space? And I thought, okay, here's one of the goals that I did achieve back early on,
Yep.
and how do I recreate that
Yep.
to bring that self-confidence back up?
What's the car?
It's a Gemini, 1979 1.8 litre.
More expensive to buy that now than then?
Or it is now, yeah,
That-
because they're rare now.
Yeah, that's
so
what
I've
I get-
actually got
that's-
2 of them. I've got
yeah.
a spare one that sits at a storage yard
I love
for backup.
Yep.
Okay, for any parts that I'm
That-
making.
I thought you meant for backup. Like, if that one burns, that's right. I got one in the shed.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But I've actually insured it this time.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't, like, it's hard when you're insuring something that's rare.
Yeah. I know you pay more for the
You
insurance.
get the
these
money,
days.
but then, no, but what happened? You can't go buy the car
No,
again.
no, so you've got to
find
you've got to do it all again.
Yeah.
So you've got to buy it off someone that's keeping it.
And do it
as well.
up. So this has been, I think I've seen a photo actually. Yeah, so it's been restored.
It's been restored. It just needs the interior finished off.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's hopefully that will be achieved by.
Do you have another car goal above that?
Oh yeah, my Bentley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't want to drive the Bentley. I want to be
You
driven
won't
around
drive
in
the
car.
Bentley? You, someone will drive it? So you'll never drive it? Because this
Oh,
is...
yeah. Well, I
like,
went for a drive one the other day.
This is a funny thing. Like, I've never had dry ginger ale without alcohol in it. And I don't want to, just so that I can say I've never actually tried it. Like,
Dry
it's almost
ginger
like,
ale.
yeah, like, I don't know what it tastes like because I've only ever had it with, like, rum.
Okay.
But very weird parallel. But,
No,
like,
no, that's right.
like if you get a Bentley, I'd almost be like, I'm not driving it, ever.
Yeah.
Because then it would be like, that's just my thing. But anyway.
That's right.
Okay,
No,
so...
no, but I love cars. So there's probably going to be a few cars before then,
Yep.
obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's a Bentley worth? $500,000?
Oh, 750, the one I want. The
So you
Arnage.
buy new?
Well, probably not.
No. Yep.
Unless
Luxury.
You know,
Imagine the luxury car tax on that.
that's right. Yeah.
If you have to ask what the luxury car tax is, you can't afford it.
Yeah, that's right. And let's not worry about that if we're going to be able to buy a Bentley.
That's right. So Hungry Jack's, and then so you finished school. What were you still working at Hungry Jack's when you finished school? Was that an option to go
No, so I went back to
management?
school.
Yep.
Oh no, so I actually continued school, but I did it from like an open access college.
Okay, so
I'm
you
not sure if
got
they
you got
exist
asked
these
to
days.
leave the school you were at, but you were still able to continue SACE stage 2. Is it
Yeah,
SACE
we
back
managed to
then?
negotiate where I could
Yep.
continue, so I actually
Yep.
progressed. Didn't have to do a year repeated.
Yeah, okay.
That type of thing.
So you still I was due to finish in 2000. You finished in 98.
Yeah.
And 2 years
27,
difference.
28, yeah.
And you finished year 12, still working at Hungry Jack's towards the end of that.
No, after the 6 months, I gave it up.
Yep.
Yeah, once I achieved the goal, got the extra.
So it was really just about getting enough money to buy the car,
Yeah,
pretty much.
that was it.
So where did you go? Were you not working then, or straight out of high school you went and?
Oh, straight out of high school, I worked. So my father was a roof tiler by trade, and we got into the slate roof tiling business, or he did, and so I used to help and assist that. So there was plenty of labour work to do there.
Yep.
So assisting with the craft, cutting slate,
Yep.
carrying it up onto. And that probably opens up also where the bigger goals come from as well,
As you
because
see.
most of the houses that we
Yeah.
were working on it's $100,000 for a roof. So most people don't spend
And this is in
$100,000.
the like late 90s, early
Late
2000s.
yeah.
So
This is all around Adelaide.
Yeah.
So anyone's got a slate roof.
Yep.
It's actually guaranteed for 100 years as well.
Yep.
So they pay a premium for slate roof.
Yep.
And it's handcrafted.
Who covers the guarantee at the end of the 100 years? I mean, that's a weird question, but
That is a weird question. and then I used to ask that
Yeah.
question as well, because
like,
like,
what if
are
you
we going to
die?
continue to
Yeah,
go back
like,
up?
is that- hang on, am I helping because I'm covering the back half of this guarantee?
That's right. Don't come following me up.
Okay, so that makes sense. So you did that for a little while, and then
Okay, so we did that. Okay, and then I took a role as a sales, door-to-door salesperson.
hard sales.
Hard sales.
I
Commission only.
I can't think of anything harder.
Oh, that's right.
It's
But
tough.
if you can do that, you can do anything.
I did it for Lloyd's soft drinks as a 15-year-old. I used to go door knocking trying to sell soft drink.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I don't think
depending
I
on how
ever
successful
sold
you
it.
were at
Oh
it.
shit!
Okay.
But
it was a
I was
numbers
15.
game. Was
But mate, I like, what do? You just keep knocking on doors.
That's right.
Because you're always like,
But you
"Meh,
dealt with
next one, next
rejection
one,
early.
next one.
Is that right?
Oh, it's straight up. And, you know, it didn't bother me, but I've never really worried about it. Like, I wanted my $5. I think it was pretty much, I got $5 to sign a new client or new customer.
Yeah.
And then I think that was it. I don't even know. I wasn't getting a retainer. I was just in the truck. So the guy that I was working with was delivering soft drink to the local area. I'd jump off the truck, door knock while he's delivering, and then he'd pick me up and like, how'd you go? Nah, nothing. All right, have a bottle of drink. That's probably where my weight problem comes from. So, so door-to-door selling.
Okay, selling to telecommunications. So that was at the time the deregulation of the telco industry came
Okay.
out. So Telstra was a main player. They opened it up to the likes of Optus, Primus, and some other carriers.
So this
as
would have
well.
been early door knocking. Like, was there? I mean, what was before that? Vacuums? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Kirby was probably the quite big Kirby vacuum cleaners.
yeah.
was
So
probably big.
people receiving people at the front door was.
Encyclopedias, I think.
Yeah, do you know what I
even
mean? Like, it was
before
still
that, yeah.
people were still actually answering the door and like,
Oh.
"Hi, how you going?" Like now, we never answer the door.
No,
if someone
correct.
knocks on the
So
door.
that's in the days where it was still
Yeah.
a common form of receiving goods.
And was it good
That's
money?
before the internet, before
Yeah.
SMS. Not everyone had a mobile phone
Yeah.
back then.
So you were selling landline
It was a landline
plans.
deregulation. Yep. So
Wow.
the way that we'd talk about it, it would be anyone that was calling Europe or America, and they're currently paying $2 or $3 per minute. We
Yeah.
come along with something that's 40 cents per minute.
Yeah.
They're willing to
They're
listen to you for
listening, yeah.
30 seconds to 5 minutes, and if they were interested, it's a 15-minute turnaround application, and you move on.
Yep.
All right, and you do say 10 to 15 conversions in
Yep.
a night,
Yep.
which would get you $150.
And so you
$200
concentrated
in 4
on
hours.
night because obviously people were
Oh,
home.
yeah,
So you
it's
door
a
knock
4
what,
to
6
8,
till
4 to
10?
8.
4 to 8.
Oh,
You
perfect
find
time
people
for
eating
me
dinner
at that
or-
age.
Yep.
18 years old,
Yeah.
17, 18 years.
Yep.
18 years old. Sleep in.
Yep. Do what you want.
Work 4 to 8.
Oh, 'cause
After
you go
that
out
party, go
afterwards.
have drinks.
Yep.
And it was
Spend
just
your
this-
spend your 150 that you earned
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
day.
that's right. And then complete the process. But what happened out of that? That was an Adelaide company. The director of that company wanted to expand to WA.
Yep.
I was interested in doing exploring
Yep.
Australia. So within a week of being asked to team lead over and set up the business, we were in a car, 3 of us under 21, assistant manager, and then myself as the team leader of sales. We jumped in the manager's car, we drove over across the Nullarbor, 2-day trip, everything packed in there, and I had my license. Obviously at that stage I jump in the car and I'm driving along. We're going across the Nullarbor and there's about 100 to 200 kangaroos either side. I'm driving the brand new car that the manager had just bought, a 926 Mazda.
Yeah, I know the car.
And then bang, I hit a kangaroo and we stuffed the bonnet up and we're stuck out in the middle of nowhere. We managed to drive the car to the petrol station, tie the bonnet on so it wouldn't fly up, and then we drive the car the rest of the way to Perth. And then we have nowhere to stay, so we stay in a hostel for about 2 weeks.
Yep.
That was great experience. We found the office. We slept in the office for a couple of nights as well until we established a place to rent.
And were you selling through this whole process?
Yeah.
Straight up, like
Day one.
accommodation, drop bags, door knock.
Yep. Find an area, territory, and go work.
Would you choose like a more affluent area, or
We
it
didn't know
really matter?
anything. We went
You didn't even think
condensed.
about that. Yep. So just
condensed blocks of
Yep.
units
Oh, so
and
you
housing,
walk closer
because then you
doors.
don't have to walk so far.
go. Yep. And work out from there.
Yeah, that was my strategy anyway.
So inner
yeah.
city, did it? And it worked. Like,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
It was good income.
Yeah, and then we built up a team with 15 staff within about
Yeah, because
three,
all of a
3
sudden
months.
people start going, hang on, you're making $200 a night, knocking on doors, asking questions,
Yeah,
and
and
then
you're
all
only
of a
doing
sudden
4
people are
hours work.
interested.
You know,
yeah.
like, this is good money for that type of work.
Yep.
As long as you got some ability to communicate, as long as you come in the morning for a an hour training session or an hour before the session, run through the closes, the open-end questions.
So you were delivering sales training as a 20-year-old, effectively, or even younger,
18 almost,
18-year-old, and like good sales training as well. This has been the stuff.
Yeah,
that
this
you
is
would
the
have been
stuff
teaching.
that is hard work.
Yeah.
And to be successful, you need to know what you're doing.
And so, what was there anything between that and what you're doing now? Obviously not the business that you're in now, but getting into collection or management. I don't even know what's the what term do you prefer for the business?
Credit management.
Credit management. Yep.
Credit management is the term if you're talking to
Yeah.
clients.
And
You know,
debt
your
collection, if you're
credit.
talking to me.
Yeah, that's right. If you're talking to a small trade type business, it's debt collection.
Yeah.
It's like, did you bring your baseball bat?
Yep.
If you're talking to a credit provider that has $6 billion worth of credit out
Yeah.
there, we might be talking different scenarios.
That's right.
And we're talking about big call centers, and we're
Yeah.
talking about lots of contact points. And so that's the future of my business, is to have a large
Because for you to
organisation.
get to the kind of volume where you can be earning the income that you want, you've identified that it needs to be.
Oh
big
yeah,
corporate.
so there's 2 players that are the largest ones in Australia. It's
Yep.
Credit Corp and Collection House.
Yep.
Okay, and Credit Corp has $6 billion worth of debt under management. They
Yep.
have about 500 staff.
Publicly listed.
Publicly listed company. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you plan to go private and do this and like grow privately? Is that the plan, or you
Well,
don't, and you
no,
don't have to answer that?
I want to disrupt the credit industry.
Yeah.
I'm not one for our current practice.
Yep.
Our current practice is obviously engaging with people
Yep.
and putting them on payment plans
Yep.
on that type of level.
Yep.
So my staff need to be able to, first of all, build some type of relationship with the debtor
Yep.
and communicate to them and work out their financial situation, and do they actually have the capacity or ability to pay what they've been provided in regards to credit. And that credit can be from a telco, utility, a bank, a second tier lender,
Yeah.
a payday loan lender.
Yeah.
So there's people are getting contacted probably 4 points and from different agencies that they're falling delinquent. So they're 64% of the Australian population at the moment is about 1 week away from financial stress.
Yeah.
So
No, I believe it.
yeah, that's right.
And
And I've been in that situation.
So
as
you're
well,
when you
so
say
it's
you're one of those 4 points of contact, does that mean that you're one of 4 companies competing for any of the money that these people do have? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So if I'm looking for a payment for a utility and the consumer has ignored the credit provider,
Yep.
and then it's been referred to our agency and we're contacting them, we're not the only agency contacting them.
Yep. Which makes sense. And
So
so
then we need to compete and become a priority. So as the bills come in, who becomes at the top of the list?
you're playing the honey game, not the vinegar game, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you won't.
No, so what I want to do is work with companies so that we bridge that gap between credit providers
Yep.
and credit managers as such, and say how do we bridge that gap? And I went to a debt forum last week, and what I see is missing is the link between the two, and then the education around finances.
Because a lot of people aren't aware of the ramifications of delinquency, or like people they're not budgeting for their debt.
The common thing was that most people don't have a budget.
Yep.
They don't have basic financial money management skills,
Yep.
processes in their family environment. Talking about money, they may talk about it,
Yep.
but most people won't actually.
Well, people talk
do
about what they
something.
want to buy and how
Correct.
much they don't have.
And they want to buy crap,
Yep.
so stuff that depreciates.
Yep.
It's not something that will pay them in the future.
Yeah. And
So
borrow
cars,
and
we talked
borrow
about
to
that
do it. I
before.
mean, yeah, but you bought your car cash.
Yeah,
It no longer.
that's right.
It doesn't need to. You're not stressed about it. But most of the people that you're referring to are buying.
Oh yeah, let's go out and buy a brand new car that is nearly half the amount of their wage,
Yep.
or their entire wage,
Yep.
and they need a whole year to work that.
Yep.
And if they, for some reason, fall sick, ill, mental illness,
Yep.
1 in 6 and
Yep.
1 in 4 people,
Yep.
suffer that.
Yep.
Do they still have the capacity to pay?
Yeah, and no one signs the insurance, do they?
That's right.
So obviously our audience is quite
Yes.
landscaper trade based. So Mercantile CPA is that's your only company
Currently, this
currently,
yes.
and you've been in other markets.
I've had a Keep Safe training business, which we had. We started primarily as a first aid training provider.
Yep.
Then we went into conflict management training. We did some armed hold-up training, but we also had a retail store.
Yep.
We had the retail store at Port Adelaide, and we were selling uniforms and safety equipment.
Yep. So you've dealt with the trade a lot. Obviously, as I know you personally, you're
Yeah.
friends with a few landscapers
I've got
as well.
I could name 4 companies
Yep.
So
that expect free credit terms and debt collections.
yeah, that's right. But regardless to the free credit terms, what I was probably going to say is that any landscapers out there that are thinking about their credit and their policies, what I seem to find amongst the industry is that by the time they're talking to me, it's too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we want our landscaping clients out there to do is to engage with us early, and what we can do is work on just an overall credit risk management.
Yep.
Okay, which is also part of the business. Is if you're going to deal with a new prospective client, builder, etc., you want to give us a call and we can give you a rundown on their credit worthiness.
Yep.
Okay, so our company CPA has been around since 1956 in South Australia. We have the data intelligence to let you know if that person's going to pay or if that company's going to pay. So it's worthwhile for anywhere between $20 and $100 to find out if you're going to provide $50,000 or $100,000 worth of service, including Waterpro's products, and you're going to put them in there, and then they're not going to be retained under a retention of title clause for you. So, you're going to put that out at risk. And another thing is, if there's any variations to the job, make sure the variation forms are signed.
Yep.
Make sure you're engaging and talking to your customer. All right.
So you're DK, do you want to turn the air conditioner off? I guess for full disclosure, Waterpro use you and another firm. So prior to us meeting, we had a credit company help us with our terms and conditions and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess
and that's great that you had that. So that's fantastic.
because it enables you to chase the
of course,
money
yeah.
Properly, and also for us to pursue any problems for the fees as well, because it's in our terms and conditions, rather than then trying to pursue them for fees and they're not in your terms and conditions and
That's
you're not
right.
covered.
Yeah.
So a landscaper would come. So and I guess I'm conscious not to make this a sales event for your company,
No,
but I also and I know that's not how you are, but I definitely want to. I guess so from start to finish. Most landscaping companies will register their business name, get their business cards done, get their website, get their logo, and
Hopefully have their license by that stage.
hopefully have their license, which is something we talked about. Obviously, you're a fan. So what would be the minimums that a landscaper needs to look at from a paperwork point of view, in your opinion?
Yeah, so you got to have your credit application, your terms and conditions.
So keeping in mind, some of these people are going to be working for like direct to end consumer, so not 30-day terms. So when you say credit, you mean like contracts or like so?
Oh, so
I'm
quote,
talking
if you're going to get your quote signed.
Yeah, so you've got a
And you've-
landscaper.
and
He
you've got your
goes out, does
progress
his
payments.
quote, gets accepted. So do you guys get involved at that level? Like, do
No.
you? So that's something that they need to work out. They've got their quote, their acceptance forms. You don't do that kind of thing.
No, well, we definitely advise on them,
Yep.
but most people would have them created, and if
Yep.
they don't, then they want to have at least some conditions in there.
Either
So we do
through-
those free reviews for
Yep.
any company out there wants those.
Yep.
Right? But it's a matter of making sure that they get their end consumer to sign it,
Yep.
and then if there's any variations to the job, that they get them to sign that as well. And
Continuously.
I know that is not always practical to be done, because you might be out there, you might be digging a trench, and then all of a sudden the client comes out and says, "Oh, look, I need to adjust this," and then all of a sudden you go back and you need to, send off an email. You probably can do it these days with an app.
I think the
straight
practicality
away.
of that will be directly related to your experience of it being screwed by a client. Because I guarantee you, if
The
you've
ones that
never
have
been
been-
hurt, you won't worry about it.
No.
But if you've been hurt, you'll be like, hold up.
Yeah, and that's why I say credit risk management. If the job is only 10% of your overall annual revenue,
Yep.
then you might take that risk
Yeah.
on face value on the old handshake
Yeah,
rule.
yeah.
If it's going to be 50% of your annual revenue,
Yep.
you might want to consider
Yeah, what does
giving
this
us a
mean to
call
me?
and going, hey, or whoever you're using,
Yeah.
seek advice.
Yep.
And maybe your accounts person or your credit manager, or depending on the size of your organisation, your finance manager, just to have a chat to that person, have a look. So if it's a one-man band, that's
Yep.
probably not going to be possible, but it could be the wife that gives them a call.
Yeah, I get that, and I think it's good to have a separation between the person doing the job or selling the job and the person invoicing and collecting the money.
Yeah.
Because
You're emotionally involved.
and you don't want to, when they see your phone number, to think that it's chasing, especially for a business like ours that's got recurring income through the same client base. If admin are the one chasing the money, but then I've got salespeople that are the ones talking to them about wanting to sell them more stuff or help them with
You
things.
don't want to expect your salesperson to be recovering.
I don't like. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of that. I
So
know.
you look at a larger organisation, each department is separated, and they have.
It'll just show up on the computer that it's Yeah,
that's
Look,
right.
I mean, we used to deal with a large irrigation, a national supplier, and I've had their salespeople ring me about the account, and I'm like, you shouldn't be ringing me about the account. Like, firstly, I should have paid it, but
But regardless of that,
Yeah.
that's not
it's
the
not
point.
good for the relationship.
No, but there will be some credit departments and managers of businesses and general managers that expect their salespeople to do that.
Yeah,
But that's actually confusing the job role.
Yeah.
Is that in your job description?
yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Well, and the salesperson's trying to build a relationship with that person.
That's
That's
right. They want
definitely
more
the
business.
opposite.
They want new money.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the old money.
I wonder why they do that. I guess it's just because whoever's
It's because it's
they don't
being
want to do
cheap.
it.
It's
Yeah.
like they don't want to spend that money
Yep.
and get the professional to do
Or
it.
they don't
for
want to
them.
have a difficult conversation themselves, which
Yeah.
is management.
So that's where a third party organisation comes into play.
Yeah. So if you come and probably, I guess, if the company's big enough, I mean, you're dealing with big companies, so there's companies that you're dealing with that don't even have a department for that. Really, isn't like.
Yeah, so we deal with the people that don't have a department, they don't
Yep.
even have an accounts person,
Yep.
right through where they have an offshore organisation and then they have an onshore.
And
then
so
they
the
have us.
onshore, like it elevates to onshore kind of thing. Like they
Yeah,
have
that's right.
offshore posted email chase up, like basic.
The larger the organisation, they have a credit management process
Yep.
and a debt cycle, okay, and it's all based on days outstanding.
Yep. So as soon as
It doesn't
clicks
matter
off the
who it is,
trigger,
what it is. There's
no emotion.
There's no client. Hey, this
Yeah,
customer
help me
here. How do we approach it?
Yep.
It's same terms, same conditions, strict.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it affects the balance sheet and it affects the
Shareholders,
shareholdings.
because and it's
It's
all
a
audited.
flow-on.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's probably the weakness of a business like mine. It comes down to me, and I'll be like, no, it's cool. I'll go with my gut on this, and it's in my experience that guy's been fine. He's just dealing with this, and I trust him, or she hasn't, and
Yeah. Which
So-
as you grow and your business gets larger, that those emotional
Well, it'll have to
responsibilities
stop.
should stop.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think it's also, like you said
I know you're a
before-
control freak and you want to be
No,
controlled.
not too bad. What do you think?
Yeah.
Control freak?
No, generally.
No, he's getting better.
No, I'm weird about stuff that I control. Like, I don't know. Like,
No, I say the control freak
he'll-
because
yeah.
of Grant Cardone, and he
Yeah,
says
yeah,
to
yeah.
be a control freak.
He'll-
I'm sorry,
yeah.
that's why I was
Like,
throwing that
I'll
in. I just
want-
want to see what you're.
I'll spend an hour critiquing
You
a.
don't micromanage.
No, but then if I want the font changed, it's going to get changed. So, yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
end save.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's weird. It's funny stuff. Did you bring my golf club?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's right.
Do you want me to get it now?
No, it's all good. Don't want to interrupt the flow.
Are you sure?
yeah.
Oh, I do have something for you.
Oh, I've got something for you. I got you that.
Oh, thank you very
When
much.
we were in Cairns.
$1 bills.
It's so that you
Here's
can.
$100 bills.
These are so. I think there's all different notes in there, but this is so you can keep money on your mind and that kind of thing.
Well, that's right. You need to keep money on the forefront, and that will lead us to our conversation around the money shorts and short money discussions.
So
Obviously, keeping money on your mind.
I'll
That's
finish.
exactly what that's
I'll
about.
finish talking about.
Sorry.
So I just want to cover some stuff. So
Am I allowed to give you your gift now?
yeah, do it. Is it cash?
It could be.
It could be an account form.
Okay. So we have $100 million for
$100
you
million.
here, Mr. Clint Adams.
Is that my annual turnover check?
That's the check that you're working towards, all right?
That's correct.
I want you to frame that.
Oh, how good is that?
You probably already have one of these somewhere,
Nah.
but you're supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think like that sometimes. I'm bad. I'm really weird. DK, take a note. order someone to frame this check. Thanks, man.
That's right.
So you're going to pay me this money? I need one of these every year. Where can I put this?
Wherever you like.
We'll deal with that later.
Yes, but that's right.
Sorry, Gary.
The point is that you if it's one of your goals and you're writing it down, you want to be looking at it and visualize it.
Mm.
Okay, the check is going to come from yourself.
Yes.
So it's really Clint Adams to Clint Adams, but
Yep.
seeing I've printed it off.
Because you've got a check template somewhere. That's cool, man. It's got a date on it as well, which is good. Yeah, we'll get that framed. I think we'll have to put that. We need some wall art. It's a bit sterile in here sometimes, but
That's right. Yeah, it's starting to grow. I like it.
it's getting there.
It's
No one
pretty-
believes I built that.
It's a pretty cool shelf, and if you actually did that yourself,
I
can
did
tell.
do it. You can tell it's a bit
Yeah,
wonky.
That's right. It's a
But
good
this one
idea,
here is
sir.
very much one of, I don't know, what is it? Never let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
No, I
It's
like
not
it.
one of my values, but
Okay.
it definitely, I think we
Getting started. Look, you're here. You got a podcast.
ready, fire,
Yeah.
aim.
Yeah.
That's it. But I was going to have two, like rule 13 was the pork rule, which means if you go, we've got to get this in writing, DK, we've got to add it to the chart. But if you work at Waterpro and you go buy a pork roll and don't call the business, then you get penalised because everyone wants to know when you're getting pork roll. So that's the pork rule. And then I think number 14.
Good work.
14 will be never let the perfect be the enemy of the good, which is very much like get started. Just get started.
Just do it.
You know, I mean, you imagine you waited for the perfect time to go knock on a door. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe she's eating dinner, or maybe the kids. I think I heard them flush the toilet. She probably doesn't want to talk. Like,
Yeah, if you stood out in the curb
who gives
for
a shit?
longer than
Yeah,
well, I've been listening to this audio, Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule,
yep.
and that's quite interesting.
Is that what it's called?
The 5-second rule.
Yep.
The start of it put me off.
Not related to food.
No, 5-second rule. So just
Is it a book?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
an audio book.
Yep.
The 5-second rule.
I've seen it.
Mel Robbins, and
Yeah.
it starts off a little bit depressing. So if you're not in that space of like I need to dig myself out of the hole, it might put you off to continuing the audio. So
Yep.
I'm like, oh, what's this?
So
And
you're
I
better
couldn't-
off starting at chapter 4 or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But persevere through
Yeah.
that, and then it teaches you that if you're going to do something and you got that anxiety build up, just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
And
bang,
jump.
do it.
It's like a bungee jumping kind of thing. isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is she designed the book because they fell into really bad debt.
Yep.
The husband had 4 or 5 restaurants, all starting to collapse at one point.
Yeah, Gordon
Creditors,
Ramsay.
they couldn't get out of bed in the morning. Well, she
So,
couldn't.
so anxiety, depression situation.
Yeah, and then she's like, okay, how do I fix this? 5 seconds.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count up, get up. And just started using this 5-second.
Yep.
And then it's now spread across the world, and people use it all the time. And I think it's a good little resetter
Yep.
for people that are in financial difficulty or not hardship.
Could be
as
anything
such.
really, couldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. But what I think about it a fair bit, and obviously I want to help and educate people around finances and basic financial
Yep.
money management, that if they are struggling or not knowing what to do, just think about that for a second before they go and spend their money on something that's not worth anything.
Yep.
If you're going to make an investment for the future, you want to spend a bit of time thinking about it. But if you're going to go down to the shop, just to make yourself feel good,
Yep.
and you're going to spend some money, Think about that for 5 seconds before you actually make that purchase.
I should use that rule for food, I think.
Yeah. So it helps with going to the gym.
Yeah.
It helps with
Just
drinking that next beer. You know, whatever
I
it may
can't
be.
count to 5 after.
Yeah,
after.
but you use the.
I get what you're
It's
saying.
quick 5 second bang. And I'm listening to it at the moment. I think it's quite good.
You know, I haven't listened to. I think I downloaded Ray Dalio's Principles.
Oh, yeah.
And got about halfway through it, and it's a massive book. But I haven't listened to any actual audiobooks. So I guess to
Okay.
give some context, I think you and I both have an Audible account.
Yes.
I've
Definitely.
got 50 plus books. You'd probably be up there.
Yeah.
And I guess that was one of the things that Gary Vaynerchuk highlighted for me is I've listened to enough now. It's time to start acting. And I think if you look, and you definitely never stopped learning. So it's always good to find these new gems. And
Yeah. I was hoping to find one from you
Try
actually
and
because I don't
find-
know what my next 3 credits are going to be used up.
I've got 7 unused credits.
Yeah. See, that's how far.
That's
behind
how
you are.
far, and that's so I get a credit a month. Well, I buy a credit.
But
a month.
also, you need to. A thing I did a while back is I consumed so much content
I
of all
consume too
different
much,
things
yeah.
in a year where I was actually not focused.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's what I found. I'm just
So-
driving along listening to audiobooks.
Revisit the same books over and over.
The
2 or
ones that
3
keep
of them
coming back.
that are relevant to you
Yeah,
and actually help give you that extra step.
ones that I really go back to and go that was like game changing in a way was the Pumpkin Plan by Mike Michalowicz, which I think you might have read.
No, I haven't.
No, that
Pumpkin
was
Plan.
wicked. So the Pumpkin Plan was where the start of my 12 immutable laws came from. So it's where he talks a lot about that. He also wrote another book called Profit First, which would be really in line with your world, and it talks about making sure that you pay yourself first effectively,
Yeah.
and then you'll always deal with the rest. And even if that's hiding money from yourself, so I do that now. I've got different accounts where money automatically goes to,
Yeah.
and I don't worry about
Yeah.
it. And then it starves the business of funds, so people go, shit, we need money, we haven't got money, let's chase debt quicker, or let's sell more stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's very good. No, that's excellent. And that's, I suppose, for our audience.
yeah,
It doesn't matter about
No.
what I know and what I'm striving to
yeah.
achieve each day. This is, hey, whoever's listening,
yeah,
put that at the forefront of your mind
yeah.
because paying yourself first is more important. And that's why you're in a position you are, Clint, and vice versa.
I
is
think
that-
it was about, I haven't paid myself. There was 4 weeks in the last probably 8 years I haven't paid myself. And they were January, February last year. And that was a shitty time. Like when Connor and Lucy were born, Waterpro was taking a hit hard. It was raining. And I stopped. I didn't pay myself for 4 weeks. And I don't think it was so much because we couldn't afford it. I wanted to set a tone and go like, this is how serious I need you
There's
guys
times
to step up.
in my business where I haven't paid myself.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
And then I back.
And if you're willing to do that,
yeah, well, we didn't need them. I mean, we're not part of the 64% of people. Was that the number that are 1 week away? So I was cool to not have the money. It was more like I had a business coach at the time, and I told him, he's like, you can't do that, dude. Like, you have to pay yourself. It doesn't matter. I'm like, no. It was for different reasons. I wanted my staff to be aware that it was this serious. You need to step up because I'm holding 1 or 2 of you that I don't really need to,
Yeah.
because I value you and I want you to stay here and I don't want you to lose your job. So I can take a hit on that. Actually, I think I hired you. No, I didn't hire you. I hired Kurt. So
but I also think it's different when you've got a business
mm,
as well, because you're running a business and then you're also trying to achieve an income out of that, which is
Yeah.
difficult and it's another level. Let's just say the 64% of people that are 1 week away from financial stress are people that are receiving an
a
income,
set income as
a
well.
salary income, or
Yep.
a part pension,
Yep.
government
Yep.
/ one person works type income. So those people that are receiving an income and they know exactly what it is for
Very
each week,
just-
they
yeah.
should be on top of their finances, and they should know exactly where each dollar goes. And no, it shouldn't be going to the stuff that's not worth it.
Because a business owner doesn't necessarily have the guaranteed income, so it's harder to budget.
It's all
So
based
these
on the
guys-
economy. It's based on your sales team. It's based on people buying. The whatever industry you're in. If it's a building industry, is that able to purchase your products at the time? So you got a lot more factors than just okay. I'm good at my job, and I'm going to do a great job, and then I'm going to get paid that salary.
Yeah, and if I get a bonus or
Yeah,
whatever,
thinking
then,
about new money,
you
that
know,
needs to be done
that's
after. nine to-
that's for when it comes. That's not. Yeah, you can't go, I'm going to buy this because I know I've got a tax check coming or I've got a.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I have not ever had a personal budget, ever. Still now don't.
There's a lot of people don't.
So, but I've got a business budget which we hit, which we've we're probably 19k away from hitting it again 9 months running.
Yeah.
So if we can do 19k in the next I don't know,
We haven't got too many
2 or 3
days left of the
We'll
year.
do it. I mean, we can do 10 to 20. I mean, some days we'll do more, but
Yeah.
personally, I've never had a budget, and Celeste goes on about it all the time. She's like, we should start planning for this. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just earn more money.
Well, that's the main problem that couples have is
Yeah.
that they don't create a budget together.
I'm very Grant Cardone about it. I'm like, fuck it. If I need more money, I'll go make more money.
Yeah, yeah. But remember,
I
you're
know.
an exception to the rule,
Yeah.
right? So you can't.
Oh,
base
not at all.
this on you.
I'm on her side. I should have a budget. She just needs to get me to sit down for 2 minutes and actually like talk about stuff because I'm moving so fast. This is not what we're here to talk about. But
We can go back.
you know what I mean?
Let's go back to
there's forms to fill out and like childcare rebates and all that shit. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
so if a trade, we've got the two scenarios. Landscaper starts their business and wants to ensure that they are ticking all the boxes. They can meet with you or a company like yours and sit down. And most of those companies will do a first consult free. It's kind of like a law firm.
that's
Sit
right.
down, get an idea around what they're doing, see if they've got similar values
Just
and
see-
are willing to
see
work
where they're
with
at.
each other. Yep.
Some
And see if
peop-
they like you and if you're willing to. I mean,
Vice versa.
do you say no to any clients? Have you ever said no to a client? Do you have
Yes.
you have a no dicks allowed rule
Yes.
like me?
Yeah. We don't categorise them like that, but
Yeah. No. Yeah. We're a little bit more
Loosey goosey.
loosey goosey.
Goosey, we got a new term.
I was going to say a little bit more fuck normal than that, but yeah, obviously this podcast, we might have to do a snippet for schools. I want to talk about that actually,
Yeah.
money and kids and money.
So,
So they come to you, sit down, get their forms, and they're all tickety-boo.
yep, they've got it ready to.
And then they're getting everything signed, blah, blah, blah. That's one example. The other example is client has screwed them. If they come in at that level where they've got all their forms in line, it's much easier for you to help them.
Of course. Yeah.
And what's the process look like? You start calling the
So
debt
we
first?
have a contact management process. It's generally tailored to the debt.
Yep.
Okay. So landscaper comes in.
So homeowner.
Yep. The chasing homeowner hasn't paid the account.
Yep.
They will get depending on the information they've
Yep.
got.
So if you say they're arguing about it, so it's kind of in a mediation stage. Like they're saying,
if it's a dispute,
yep,
we'll contact the debtor and then we'll find out what the dispute is.
yep, and
we'll
get
come
their
up.
side of the story.
Yeah, because there's never.
Yep. There's 3 sides, isn't there?
There's always 3, especially. And so we come in as the third party and we negotiate on behalf of both sides in
Yep.
the end.
Yep.
Obviously, our client first and
Yep.
foremost, but we also need to understand the circumstances of why they've disputed to pay.
Yep.
And if they're disputing because they haven't got any money and they're trying to stall the process, that's different.
And you'll pick up on that.
Yeah.
Your guys have got good EQ
Yeah.
on that. Like,
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll find out if they've done this elsewhere.
Yep.
You know, we'll check our records.
Because everything's on the record now, isn't it?
That's right.
Like
Yeah.
your credits. Yeah.
Yeah, if someone else has seek judgment against them,
Yep.
we'll know.
Yep.
If they have strung someone out and paid at the end,
Yep.
we
Before settlement.
then we
judgment kind of
can't
thing.
tell that, but
Yep.
we will see if they've popped up in our database.
And Adelaide's a small place. I mean, it's a different market. You're obviously a national.
We
company.
collect Australia-wide,
Yep.
but primarily and predominantly, we have a lot of South
A
Australian.
and if a landscaper's using you, it's really highly chanced that they're going to be.
Oh
like,
yeah, they're not.
they're not like
No, that-
Victorian landscaping. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Um,
but we do have a landscaping company in New South Wales that we look after, and that's local to there. They're doing jobs in New South Wales.
And
So-
if you get to a point where it needs to go to court, do you then refer it to a lawyer, or do you have you don't have in
we have a preferred legal panel,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
that we deal with for the last 20 years. The company has,
Yep.
okay, and so we will discuss with the appropriate law firm,
Yep.
and work out which jurisdiction it is. So if it's Australian, we work with our close
and then you'll
preferred
go
partner.
to the magistrate's court. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Or
it
you'll-
depends
you'll
on the
file
size of the debt.
value. Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah, small
actually.
claims under 12,000.
Yep. So if you list those out for us, because I don't know
Yeah,
them
sure.
now. So small claims is under 12.
Yeah,
You
that's
have to
right.
represent yourself.
Yes,
Okay, with
Yeah.
legal advice.
you can have legal advice, but you can't have a
The lawyer
solicitor
can't be in the building.
correct.
Well, can't be behind the dock or whatever it is.
No,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah,
12
you can
to-
have advice right up until you go into
Yep.
court
And
yourself.
the
That's
lawyer
fine.
just-
Yeah, sometimes you can invite a mercantile agent like ourselves to come and assist you because
Because you're not a lawyer.
that's right. So I've assisted people in court.
Which is almost better, really, because you
You got someone
you
in
can
your
get
team,
them in
and
there,
you're not going to feel as
and they're not
intimidated.
emotional. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you've been in there. You
Yeah.
know what? Okay, so 12 to what is next?
And then it goes to a general claim
Yep.
up to 100,000.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So that's
And
going
then
to probably cover
district
most of
up,
our guys.
district is above 100.
And so general is magistrate.
Yep.
And then if you're not happy with the result in magistrate, can you go appeal in district? Is that how it works?
No.
Or you're just done?
No, that's right. Depends on the value.
Too
You're
bad.
stuck there. That's it. You can go to mediation.
Yep.
And then you can go to trial, obviously.
And if
And
if your client sues their client,
What my suggestion and recommendation is to negotiate before.
never
that
go to
point.
court.
Just go. Let's come up with it, because it ends up being who's got deep pockets and who's going to string it out the longest.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're probably going to end up with the same result, but
No money.
incurred more costs.
Yeah,
No, it's the cost.
yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
get some payment. Solicitors get some payment.
Yeah.
Court's going to get some payment. So you've got to spend that money around.
But
and then
you're-
the time.
You're bigger picture than that. Like you're not trying to. You'll recommend what's best for your client.
Yeah.
Because you see the long term.
That's right. Oh, we want a quick result as well.
Yeah.
So if we make a settlement for our client,
Yep.
we get our payment quicker as well.
And
If we
they
do
tell
our
their
payment on
friends and-
commission, right?
Yeah.
We only do on success.
Yep.
So if we achieve a settlement, then we can charge on the settlement.
Is that the same for all collection agencies?
Some charge on time.
Yep.
Some charge on file basis.
You charge percentage of value.
It depends on client.
Yep.
So we have some clients that send us volume of work.
Yep.
So then it's they get charged a per letter.
Yeah.
They get a charge per contact.
Yep.
And then they get charged a commission at the end of it.
Which might be lower because of the.
All the other
whatever,
costs are
that's-
covered along
that's-
the way. Whereas if the
private
client
IP.
doesn't want to pay up front,
Yep.
there's a larger commission
Yeah,
on
which is,
success
that's
at the
where
end.
I'd probably fit more into that, because
You do.
we wouldn't refer much. We'd probably bounce one every 3 or 4 months because of the way I manage my debt internally.
Yeah.
I'd happily pay the 25 or the 20 or whatever the industry standard is.
And you got your T's and C's, so
That's
you're
what I
going
was
to get
gonna
it
say.
covered as well.
If
So
your
you're actually going
terms-
to get a free recovery.
Yeah. Provided
essentially.
you win. And that's been the big one. So for anyone listening who doesn't understand where that was going, in my terms and conditions, and in most people's terms and conditions if they've got them written, when you
clause.
sign an account with Waterpro, you agree to pay charges and fees if we have to go to court to chase the money. And it might be 20 or 20, or it's whatever the fees are really, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
there
as
a-
long as they're not above
I
50%.
was going to say there's a
You can't charge more than
government
50%.
there's a government.
Yeah, ACCC guidelines.
So I've had debts in the past with people who have known how the system works,
Yes.
and so I got my money and they paid it right at the end because this guy knew how it worked.
Yes.
He's actually a real piece of work.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
I'm being
they're out there
polite.
as well.
And then I went for fees, and he's like, "You can't get me for fees because I never signed your terms," and he knew.
Yeah.
But I guess the
So I
moral-
suppose knowing that as you're chasing it and you've got the fees.
I
yeah,
wish
that-
he
you
was
might have
that
wanted to-
sharp about running his business as he was about understanding
avoiding not
fees,
paying.
dickhead. So you know who you are. So then, probably 6 or 7 people have probably just gone, I think he's talking about me.
Everybody, when I say that I'm in debt collection
Yeah.
and credit, always first thing they think of is, "Oh, you're not chasing me for debt." So that's where that 64, the 70% of people
Yep.
haven't paid all their bills on time.
Yeah,
So hopefully you're not in my database.
it's crazy. Like, especially when there was those recent changes where they said, like, if you're delinquent on a phone bill, your credit's history. Like, it was
These days it is.
Yeah.
It's now positive.
I still
and-
don't pay my phone bills on time. I don't care. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
give me a bad.
Yeah, but it's changing the landscape of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
People
need to be
conscious
careful of
of
that. Yeah, I was very similar,
Yeah.
and it's now it will have an
I've
impact.
still got a Vita against my name from like 07 for like $364 from a. I was going
I
to
don't
sort
think
that
it
out.
should be on.
It might not
7.
be 07. It might be 10.
It only lasts.
No, it
7
wasn't. Yeah,
years.
it might be 10. Oh, there you go. It might be disappear anyway.
It will
Yeah.
eventually fall off.
Yeah, that's another story. That'll be part of my podcast when I get interviewed.
Okay.
That'll go for a day. So, if the people don't have their form, all their terms and conditions in play, and they come to you, can you still help them, or are they kind of like, sorry, dude? Like,
Yeah, they just need to be aware that they're going to pay the cost.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So,
anything
you
can
need to
be
make sure
resolved
it's worth enough money to pursue
Commercially
it.
viable.
Because if it was $1,000,
But remember, my business also exists because of principle.
yep. Yeah. So, but do you recommend people don't do?
I recommend
Do you have an
staying
opinion about
away from
principle?
emotional involvement
Yep.
in debt.
I was going to say,
But-
my dad's always said never go to court on principle, and I think he's only ever gone to court on principle.
I know, but people say stuff that is
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
but they don't always do what's
No.
right.
Oh, dude, I do. I mean, DK is very aware of it. I'm working on something right now that's completely about principle, and I can't talk about it, but
Sounds exciting.
oh yeah, I'll talk to you about it after this. But the I'm big on values,
Yeah.
right? So you do the right thing. A handshake's a handshake. You do, and that's how we move forward. But not everyone's on the same page. So
No.
and that I'm a really genuine and caring person until I need to work on principle, and then I've got this whole other gear that I slide into, and it's on. But
Yes.
so businesses having a budget, would you ever budget bad debt?
Budget bad debt.
Yeah. So you're writing a business budget, and you're turning over $1 million a year,
you should always have.
do you have a column called bad debt, and do you write a number in it?
You should always have that.
Do you have a percentage that you would think? Because I have I don't budget for bad debt because I think that that's kind of pessimistic. But you got to be aware of it.
It's about 5%.
So annually 5%. No shit.
Most people.
I wouldn't have had anywhere near that. That's probably good for me. I'm kind of happy.
Oh,
with
that means you're above average.
Because I reckon
There's actually companies that have bigger.
legit. Because I reckon the last bad debt we had was $3,000. So that'll be under 1% in 12 months.
Yeah.
That's
But
cool.
What that means is you've got some good credit policies in place. You've got the right protection, and you've got somebody internally that's on top of it.
Well, we've got our values, we've got our minimums and maximums, we've got someone chasing it, we've got our terms and conditions in place, we've got what I'm really low risk with that kind of stuff. I don't want to deal with it. Like, we could probably turn over an extra 1 to 2 mil a year by accepting people that were more rogue with their payments, but why? Like,
that's right. That's your credit risk.
Yeah. And look, maybe if we worked it tighter with someone like you, we'd be like, actually, I'm comfortable because they're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, it all depends on the growth, the risk. The larger the company gets, obviously the debt increases.
Yeah, and they
The
have
debt
to be
risk
comfortable with that
increases.
risk, don't they? Because, like the way I look at it, there's only this much pie of good quality customers that pay on time, and if your ambition is bigger than that pie,
That's when you start moving
have
into
to
credit
think of it.
insurance.
yeah, okay, let's talk about that. So, is that's a percentage based on industry? Like, there's not a flat, like, it's 1% for credit, like...
No, you would have to work it on
Yeah.
your customer base.
So would we go... So if we wanted to do that, would we go through you?
Yeah,
Or-
credit insurance.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm not the underwriter or anything
No,
like
but
that.
you-
But yeah,
you
I can
sell the
facilitate
concept.
that, of course.
And then they'll audit our business around
That's right. So
the
you would
risk
need
level?
to be sticking to your credit
Yeah,
terms
that's
and
a hard thing,
policies,
'cause
so
I
they
wouldn't- yeah.
because
if-
otherwise you won't get your
The
funding
upside of
paid.
that is you can almost use them as an excuse to chase your debt, though, and go, look, we have to
yeah.
do it now because it's audited.
Exactly
so
right.
if you've got what
Yeah.
I'm like with my clients, like I'm like, look, I'm really sorry, I don't want to have to chase you for this,
Yeah.
but
That's right.
Yep.
Of course. So it's a good analogy I use is that, let's say you go back to the schoolyard and you lent to your friend some money.
Yep.
Oh, $50.
Yep.
You ask for your friend.
private school.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say, but you ask your friend several times for the money. They say, oh, yeah, I've got it, all the excuses that you hear. And then, it gets to the point where it's like a few months later and you haven't got your $50
Yep.
back. And it's not working from you. So you get your older brother or
Yeah,
an
yeah.
older friend and say, look, I need some help. So they come and have a chat to your
Yep.
friend, and you usually get the money paid, right? But you got to use a third party
And
because it's not working
I'm
from you.
assuming the big brother wants $5.
That's right. He's not going to get involved over your $50 loose, payment or borrowings from your friend for nothing. He might want a $5 worth of lawyers at the shop, something in return. Yeah.
Yep. And the fact
Or
that
it
they
might
have,
be reusing a favour that you've already given.
or that they know. So that's one cool thing that I just thought of when you were talking about it. Like, at the bottom of our account application form, the company that created our forms has their logo there.
Yeah.
So that your logo on people's documents is like saying, hey, I know who Wade's big brother is, you might want to pay that back. And it becomes,
Maybe.
well,
Yeah.
in a way, like if people start to see, okay, these guys are associated with a credit management company,
Yeah.
maybe this isn't the bill we stuff around with. Maybe we just pay it because, you know what I found? If you're professional, with like for the landscapers, if you get your quote on time, you get them to sign forms, you go through all that process. Anyone who's thinking about being delinquent, they're not going to choose you because you've done everything right.
No,
They're
they want
going
to work with someone that's a bit loose.
Yeah, they're going to go, oh, the painter was, or the electrician was, or the builder was. Let's just stuff around with them because this blows me away no end, but it's always going to happen. We've got clients who have got people like end-use homeowner people that have engaged with them to do work and don't have the money to pay them because they're waiting on a deal to close in Europe or what. Like, it blows me away. I'm sure you see it all the
Of
time.
course, yeah.
Where do you play that? Like, you just go, well, you're probably better off waiting it out because it's coming and you don't want to tie the fees. That's where the consultative process will come in.
That's right. So you need to understand.
Yep.
It needs to be researched on the customer that hasn't paid.
Yep.
Give them a credit risk profile and understand them.
Yep.
So it's just about understanding your customer. And so with your business and
Yep.
the scenario you talked about before, you understand your customers very well.
Yep.
A lot of businesses out there don't.
Yep. Okay. What are you doing to what are a few? I'm trying to give some value, tips and tricks for your what are you doing to teach your son about money? Like, what can people be doing at home, especially if you've got money? Like, obviously, our kids are going to grow up in a place where they don't want for much. Like, we're not not stupid, but they've always got the toys that they've kind of looked for because the family are buying them, or like, what is there anything you're doing differently?
Well,
to
he's only one and a half, but
Well, are you thinking about it now? I mean,
Well,
I tax Jack, but like, is there?
yeah, I
Do you
think
know, like,
what I would suggest to do is give them a physical value of money.
Yep.
So like something that increases and decreases.
Yep.
So, for example, if
like as a pocket money.
no, just so they can actually see it. Yeah, they're pocket money, but give it to them like 50-cent pieces,
Yep.
and they can see it grow.
Yep.
And then
rather than a digital, like, which
yeah, because we've lost.
Well, that credit card, yeah, like
We've lost the ability to understand
Yep.
physically what money is. I'm
Yep.
glad you brought this because that. So now I wasn't one for carrying, or I don't like carrying cash because
Yeah.
I'll spend it.
And I only carry cash because
Yeah.
I want to always have it.
Yeah, we've talked about
Yeah.
this before, but so now I've got it at home. Just
Yep.
some that gives me a reminder. Okay, there it's there.
Yeah, because there's some not philosophies, but attitudes that you should always pay cash, because then you can you see it leaving.
Yeah.
Like, and the
You'll
thickness-
spend less.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't work with me.
No,
I've tried it.
because you'll just
Anything
dump
I
it
put
and go
into
to the
my-
bank and go get more.
That's right. So it just goes out and it comes
Yeah.
in, right? But going back to the kid scenario, to get them to understand value, I would suggest that they actually see something growing. So
Yep.
let's just work on an example. They want a new toy.
Yep.
It's a car. It's $10.
Yep.
You give them some compensation for
Yep.
putting their toys away, for example. Or
Yeah,
at the end of
yeah,
the
yeah.
day, you get 50 cents, right? And that's each day. It takes.
And once it
you got
gets
7
that
days.
high-
You got. $3.50 worth. Once it gets to your $10, you put it into a cylinder,
Yep.
okay, and they see it increase. But if they're going to the shop
And they take
and they
it
want
out.
to buy a lolly, or they want you to buy it, you go back and say, okay, we're going to take 10
Yeah.
of those out, and there's $5 that's gone. So your goal of reaching your car, they can actually see that decrease and increase.
There's a guy called Patrick Bet David, I think. David Bet Patrick. Anyway, I've done what he does with his kids. He puts the toy up on the top shelf, and they can see it, but they can't touch it.
Yeah.
And so, like, say there was that toy, I go buy it. So I did it with Jack around like toilet training. So if he reached milestones, he got a token or a sticker.
Okay.
And once he got them all, he could see
It's getting
the
close to
toys
getting
coming
okay.
down. And every now and then I'd let him touch it and be like, "This is like we're 60% of the way there. We're nearly there." I think that's a cool. Like I need to start doing it with money because he's old enough now. He's 5 in a couple.
Yeah.
in
So I
2
think
weeks.
that's around time, and
Yeah.
and he'll know. So I suppose the common problem is most people don't really know how to get money apart from a job,
Yep.
and then they don't know how to increase it.
Yep.
They don't know how to keep it,
Yep.
and obviously multiply it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So teaching those values soon. So I would want to take that to the next step when I get the opportunity to work with Harvey to do that.
Yep.
Is that I would want to teach him not to think linear,
Yep.
in a straightforward
So
process.
have multiple streams of income. You
Yeah,
mean?
but just okay. What can he? It's not based on time, and it's not based on that.
Yeah,
it's based
yeah.
on,
You're
okay,
not worth an X
okay,
amount. Yeah.
That's right. Like this piece of paper, I got it for 5 cents, but because it's now logoed and it's got some of my content
Yeah.
on it, you're going to pay 10 cents for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And how many people will pay 10 cents for this piece
Yeah,
of paper?
and the fact that it's now got writing from a famous guy called Wade, it's
That's
now
right.
worth $1.40 or
Yeah.
The
So that's creating value, which we're doing here for the audience.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not doing it to be compensated via money at the
no,
but
no.
we're creating value out there,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Are there any apps or tools that you've seen that are beneficial for either kids or parents around budgeting? Like, obviously, we've got so much technology available to us at our fingertips now. Like, for family budgeting, is there anything like that stand out? You know, like now in accounting, Xero is pretty much an accepted platform.
I don't have one that stands out at the moment. I've been recently
So you use
researching
Excel for your budget?
I use Excel at the moment. Yeah.
So for your business budget and for your
Well, Xero, which downloads into cash flow projections for the business
Yep.
side of things,
Yep.
for my personal budget and
Just
family
Excel.
budget, Excel. But there is apps out there, and I probably should be using them
'Cause
as
I
well.
thought
But
about
I've
that.
created my daily, weekly, monthly, yearly habits pre-apps.
Yep.
So
Your
I need to
wired that way.
adapt
Yeah.
to this new technology. But for people that are just picking it up from the start, yes, grab an app, download it, get the information sucked in from your bank accounts. Make sure you have more than one. Have ones like you've
Yep.
said where it's separated, you
Yep.
don't see it.
Yep.
You can't touch it, or it's at least 2 to 3 days delayed from being touched as well.
Yeah. Like ING.
Because then you got
ING used to be. Yeah.
That's one of the ones that I
Yeah.
use, and
Yep.
it's perfect for that. And that-
PayPal to a degree. That's pretty quick now, though.
yeah, but that keeps you away from spending it on.
Yeah,
something
PayPal's not good
that's
actually.
Crap.
because PayPal's directly linked to eBay, and then any
No, I
money-
wouldn't suggest PayPal.
any money that's in there.
No, that's right.
I actually thought about recently getting a QuickBooks subscription
Just
purely
for
for home, and
Yeah.
because we've got rental property, and like you've got different things coming in, and I'm horrible with even managing that. I've got to get that under management. But I guess
Yeah, but you're in a position where you should. It's like going to the gym.
yeah,
You get a personal trainer. You
that's
get a
right.
nutritionist.
Aces
right?
in their places.
That's right. If you're not good at it
We
at
are
your
not
age
good at
now,
it. I know.
you're
I know.
you're a young hustler.
Yeah,
Right? You're going to be living to 100, 120, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be celebrating
we
our
talked
birthday
about that
together.
before. He reckons I'm going to live to 120. I'm like 90. I'd be interested to see what health professionals say after looking at me, but
Well, when I met you and played golf that first time,
I wasn't
would have
drinking.
eased-
You were
I
having
w- I
2 or
would-
3 beers, and I'm like, no, I don't drink.
I would have expected
Yeah.
that would be your life expectancy.
I'm
from that
look.
point in time.
I definitely need to get my shit together. I'm nearly there.
Hey, you got so many things going
I'm nearly
on. So,
there.
yeah,
And I think that's
fundamentally,
important. Yeah,
health is
to understand.
should be the first
That's
one.
all that I know. That's all that should matter anymore. And I think I did an audio yesterday. I don't know if you listen to my shit anymore, but I said,
I'll try
no,
and
I'm
keep
talking
up.
about
Oh,
him.
yeah, that's right.
well, because he's
Well, he's got to chop it and change it.
yeah, I know. But I think the audio he can just go. I'll put something at the start and then upload it. But I said alcohol is pretty much like a large part of what got me here, and what will probably kill me because of my unhealthy relationship with alcohol. But that's for me to deal with.
Alcohol is a tough one.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what else? So I was talking about goals. So you, I guess, for people that are listening, Wade is the I guess debt collection guy. There's a lot more to.
Do you want to? I'll give you a little bit of story of how that changes.
Yeah, if you could,
Okay.
yeah.
So, collections credit, 12 years. We've probably contacted over 100,000 individuals in that time.
Yep.
That have fallen into financial stress in one way or another. That can be just by being a little bit late on payment, or actually financial hardship where they don't know what they're going to do in their current financial situation, and then we're contacting them.
And these are
we need to work-
individuals predominantly that you.
Yeah, so 100,000 individuals. But
So you're talking
we've got
B2C, not B2B, a lot more. Like the high percentage is B2C.
for the future of where I
Yep.
like to talk about money. Yes,
Yep.
we do business to business
Yep.
commercial collections, and
Yep.
that's probably going to continue the same way it is.
Yep.
The only suggestion around that is getting your credit terms, conditions, credit risk management, your insurance, making sure you understand that,
Yep.
and putting that in your business as a very important tool,
Yep.
and making sure you've got a good resource or contact that you can call on any time. Let's move that to a lot of the companies we do deal with. They have a lot of consumers
Yep.
out there, so they are those 100,000 people.
Yeah,
that
so
contact.
telephone companies,
Yeah, so
not banks,
Yeah.
electricity, gas, those kind of companies.
anyone
Yep.
that's a consumer, banks
Yep.
included as well.
They deliver to consumer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that has opened up an area where I think really needs a big change, and that's around that basic money management and financial education.
Yep.
And so a couple of years ago, I decided to start talking publicly about money,
Yep.
about business, because I understand business, about focusing. And then what that's led to is having a deep concern of what's happening, and I really want to make an impact and a legacy
Yep.
around helping people with their basic financial money management. And really the ultimate goal is that you don't have to think about it again, because ideally you don't want to have to worry about money or be concerned about money. And an example I saw the other day is a family, so the grandfather's talking to the grandchild, and the grandchild says to the grandfather, "I'd really like to see you. I'm going to miss you." They're saying goodbye to each other. They're not going to see each other for about 3 or 4 months to a year. And the grandfather says, I would love to see you next week or the next day, but I've got to go back to work.
Yeah, and we're talking
Just
like...
that basic conversation breaks my heart.
What are we talking, like an older dude that
Yeah, like 60...
retirement age effectively, or should
Yeah.
be enjoying the golden years,
Oh,
like the traditional golden
No,
years?
but just the restriction around that conversation
yeah,
to say, hey, my grandchild, which is, your future generation.
which most people care about their grandkids more than their kids.
That's right. So would you like to spend some more time with them?
And if he had financial independence because of the decisions he'd made from 15 onwards,
Yeah, he's had a long time at doing this.
he would be. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the sports
about
day,
choices,
sports
right?
day thing. Like you'll go to every one of Harvey's sports days,
Correct.
straight up.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop you because you're in control
Yeah,
of
I
your
can
time.
work at 2 o'clock in the morning if I need to.
That, yeah, and I'm the same. Like I don't, and I guess I don't talk about it much because I try to keep it out of it. But I'm the same. I can work whenever I need to, and that's why I can pick up. Like I've got to go pick up everyone after this and bath and feed and whatever, and then you get back.
Yeah,
on.
but you're in control of your time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you've got choices.
Yep.
And money is obviously a tool to make that happen. And I know you don't have the same ambition around money as I do, but I think we do at the core values.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's only a tool, and I set these goals and I talk about this stuff, but it's actually the impact that I want to be able to give change to people.
I read something. It was a quote yesterday, actually. It'd be interesting to see if anyone picks up on this. It was a quote that a guy and a South Australian coach wrote something along the lines. Walt Disney said, "People think we make movies to make money. We make movies to make enough money to make more movies." And that's paraphrasing, but it was written in. So there was a post that someone had taken a screenshot of a Twitter conversation between a lady in America, and she wrote some stuff about how Elon Musk is just like investigating the Mars because it's worth money, and he actually jumped in and replied, and he goes, "If I wanted to make more money, I'd just start another internet company."
Yes.
You know the
post?
post?
I saw this. Yes, yeah.
And I was like, straight up, and it's a good way to explain. The Walt Disney one was a really good way to explain it, because the only reason I need more money is to open more of these Waterpros, so I can win.
Yeah.
Because my drive is beating the other irrigation shops. It's not about having more money for me.
No.
And so, and you talk about money being a tool, it's going to be the same for you. If you've got enough money that you can have
make
the
an
freedom to impact more people, and so because you're kind of like, I guess, trying to be a financial personal trainer without making it too basic. But I think you made a post on Facebook recently about people not understanding their health, but they're not understanding their financial health.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah, so it's a very good analogy to use the health and the money, because I think we've got a problem in society. Let's just focus it back to Australia.
Yeah.
That yes, a lot of people are overweight, not healthy. You know, it all comes back down to habits, basic habits, right? And so understanding the habits and what drives habits and resetting habits. The Power of Habits, a good book to get into. That goes into scenarios of receiving large amounts of money and then going and spending it, gambling it away, mental
because
health
you're not
issues.
used to how to handle
And,
money.
no, but triggers and triggers that create these bad habits and how we fall back into bad habits. And so we need to know what those trigger points are.
Yeah.
Okay. And set triggers that then reset new ways of doing things and better ways and the healthier ways. And so I've even set myself a challenge which around spending money. Because I also have the same, I know how to go out and generate more money.
Yeah.
If I'm having issues with money, I know how to get more money.
Yeah.
Or I'm always
But
working.
why should you have to wait to the...
No. So I should be like, okay, well, I'm not just going to buy.
If I know how to do it, why don't I just do it?
Yeah, why go buy something that I've already got 5 of back at home, or
Yeah.
that's what I've probably done too much of.
Yeah.
And so I haven't bought anything new for this whole year.
Yep.
Yeah, like a new clothes especially.
Yeah,
And-
you're
and
not
clo-
talking like pens and paper and you're
No,
talking
things that need. Yeah, I'm talking
like
about
irrelevant to business. Like,
just my personal.
Yeah.
There's just me on a
Yeah, yeah,
personal
yeah.
level buying too many things, and so I've set
pretty easy.
The only new
pretty
thing
easy to say after you just bought a new car.
It's not a new car. I'm second hand.
Yeah. Okay, so you can op shop. You can go buy new clothes from the op shop.
No, you can give me a pair of shoes if you like.
No, you're not having those. No. Shut up, DK.
I thought that was a present. I mean, I like
Yeah, I
money.
got my
Come
hundies.
on, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm bad with with my goals. I'll set a goal, and as soon as I achieve it, I don't reset. And so financially, as soon as I got to a certain point, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, I'm done. So that's why I had to set the 100 million as a goal, because it's so lofty, and it's not about achieving that 100 million. It's about all the steps that I need to go through, which include improving my health to keep my energy levels up, because I'm really, really worried that my ambition is not going to be able to match my willingness to live a healthier life.
Well, that's where Gary Vee changes his lifestyle, right?
Well, he said he hasn't got any more energy.
Yeah, but if you look back,
Yeah.
like 10 years ago.
Oh, dude, he was unhealthy, but he had the same amount of energy. He was more worried about dying early.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
But still, he had to match
That's right.
his
Yeah.
ability
Yeah.
and his...
His ambition had to match his mouth, his work rate or whatever. Yeah. But like So Gary Vee was saying he doesn't have any more energy levels now than he did when he was eating unhealthy. His main concern is the energy levels he'll have in 20 or 30 years and the damage that he's done to his body now. I know straight up for me, if I live healthier, I have heaps more energy. Straight up, like I've experienced it.
Of course, yeah.
I just have to try and work around my triggers and go, well, like having a Dan Murphy's on the way home doesn't help, but
That's right. Well, that's the problem with alcohol and being a poison, and trying to.
You got to break that cycle.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole nother level of a problem. It's a poison, and we get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we train our body to be able to compensate and operate with poisoning our body.
Mm.
I've got pretty good at it as well.
So,
but it's not right, and it
No.
needs to be reset. And like you say, driving home, there's too many options.
yeah.
Just talking about it now, I feel
Yeah.
like having a beer.
Yeah,
That's saliva. Go grab one.
DK, take a note. Order beer. Hey Google. So
Ask me some more
how many staff do you have in your business at the moment?
Well, we have 10 collection seats. We have a total of 9 staff at the moment. But
Yep.
capacity to have 10 collection seats.
Yep.
And when I say that, is that allows for growth.
Yep.
As well, in our current premises,
Yep.
and then because some of the work that we get involved in can be a contract that could last a couple of years,
Yep.
and that might mean an extra 5 to 10 full-time employees just for that one contract.
And
So
you hire them as a contracted staff, like
no,
You'd hire 'em
full-time,
full-time, yep.
but you need to have the contract to go with it.
Yep.
So the bigger space out there is 2 or 3 year contracts, and that's primarily business to consumer.
So your job will then be making sure that the contract flows on.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of your
Well,
day to day.
that's the biggest step in the credit industry. My philosophy around money and financial habits and bridging that gap, then that could accelerate that growth, and that would mean me partnering with other organisations that are doing this on a larger scale as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll always be a private company? Do you think you'll ever list?
My current company,
Yeah.
would I ever list it? Probably not in its current form.
Yep. But if it was required to get to the bigger picture goal,
Yes.
and that was
Oh yeah.
that would be a
If
decision.
it became part of it, and that's where it was going to end.
Be an interesting process to go through.
Yeah.
That, I reckon.
I would prefer to keep private.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, I couldn't operate very well being told what to do by.
No, I probably
shareholders.
would move out of it if it got to that
Yeah.
point, and
You'd
I would
be a
just be a
shareholder,
shareholder,
yeah,
and I
let
would
it
go
run.
follow more of my passions.
Okay, so and that's
Because I'm in the business world and the money game to be able to achieve change.
Yep.
On a big level.
That's
what I really want to do.
Discover
So,
that along the way, like it couldn't have always been the play. Like, did you know when you were younger that that's what you wanted? Like,
oh yeah. I want to be somebody that can actually help a lot of people.
Yep.
And the only way that you can do that is by having money, power, and control.
Yep.
I mean, that's changing a bit because we have social
The
media.
internet,
So,
yeah.
Back before, you had, if you wanted to be known, you had to pay for it. And you had to advertise on TV.
Yep.
So I've even
Have a
talked about
public
this,
relations
DKs, that-
agent.
Yeah, you could go all through that, or you could create a movie or something
Yeah.
like that. And that you would have a platform
Mm.
for people to see you. Now we have social media, and if we can make something that's valuable and useful,
That's the key.
we can then attract our audience. And you got to get out there and you got to work on it. We might sit back and listen to this podcast in 10 years time and go, some of the stuff we talked about is happening.
That'd be something fun to do, actually. Like,
Yeah, you
same
replace
day, 10 years, sit down and just listen to it. Like, get our guests back on in 5 or 10 years. And just sit there and listen like, how funny was that? Remember when you said you were going to do $1 million? You loser.
Yeah, or you're sitting in a different position.
Yeah.
You're in a completely different space, and you've achieved the goals with Waterpro, and now you're on to your next mission.
Yeah.
If you've got a next mission, if it's to continue to be,
Mine's really funny. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
I just don't
we'd
know.
have to explore it now. But
Yeah.
let's, if you,
So what are your big picture goals? Like, obviously...
yeah.
like,
So change. I want to help a lot of people.
can you put a number on that? Like, it's just you just keep working towards it. Like,
Well, okay.
you
Let's say the
more
$100
people.
million goal, right?
Yep.
So if you've got a business that makes and turns over that type of amount of money,
Yep.
that means you've impacted a lot of
A lot of
people.
people, yep.
Okay.
So you'd have to. So
a reasonable amount of
put a number
people.
on it. Like, you'd have to put a number on your business turnover to kind of get an idea. Like, because obviously you
Well,
need that north star.
It's either you got the people that you're impacting.
Yeah,
or
which
you've
is
got
hard to measure.
Yeah, so let's just put a value on the
Yeah.
number and let's work towards that.
Yep.
And then let's just sit here and think, okay, what type of person do I have to be that is actually
That's
in
the
control
key.
of $100
Yeah.
million, that has a team of people around
Yep.
you that can look after that for
Which
you,
is
because
really
you can't do
500.
everyone.
I'm thinking 500 staff.
250.
Yeah, for my business.
Okay, for your business. Maybe for the finance game with technology, fintech, the way it's evolving, you don't need as many people.
Oh,
Because
hang on a sec. What are we thinking? You'd need, I reckon, for me to do $100 million, I've worked on 500 stores doing $2 million a year annually. A store can do 2 mil with 3 or 4 people. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be 1,500.
But your
Anyway.
business may evolve into a different area.
That's right, and it might be very-
It can't just be
that's
exactly the way
right.
it is, and
No.
that's
And I'm conscious of that. We're always working towards that. Is there much changing in your market where, like, the blockchain going to affect you even having a business?
probably not.
Do you know what I mean?
Not in a raw essence of
Yeah.
the business, but I think it will change the credit provider and the credit management organisation. That's why I'm talking about the bridging the gap.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I play a role in that.
Okay,
That
so
we're not actually contacting them with a third-party stick.
Yep.
We're like, hey, we want to be your partner. We want to work with you. We want to work out your finances.
Yep.
And we also want to keep you loyal to our
Yep.
client.
Yep.
Which is a
because
utility
that's the other
provider.
massive thing that none of us are talking about.
Yeah, you lose attrition and people
Is
move on. And
If I go to court for one of my clients and it's a client that we didn't really want to have to do it with, we got a really
where are
good
they going to go? They're going to go somewhere else, aren't they?
we got a really good example of a client who we ended up going into payment plan with, and they've come back now and are shopping, like, this, it took them whatever it took them, and they paid it down, and now 2 years later it's like nothing happened because we didn't deal with it in a negative way. So that's a really good
Yeah. So that's what we're at the moment. It's
but it was as much them as us, because they could have been dicks and they weren't. They were like, look, we're really sorry, this is how we need to handle it.
Exactly.
It isn't a case of us buying plasmas and being delinquent. Something really bad happened, and
so they talk to you about it. Yeah. So just on
So you want to facilitate that?
I want to facilitate that, and I want to make the end consumer and the credit provider work together so that they get bills are paid on time, and then the end consumer actually knows how to manage their money, and so that there is actually a reduced debtor days. And I mean, there's always going to be some people that don't want to fall into that, but I think with the technology and the blockchain and the process and the understanding of the consumer and the credit provider, they can talk together.
Pretty
a lot
exciting,
closer.
man.
Yeah.
It's heaps of exciting. Like, I think it's going to be the future's good for the people that are playing a straight bat. Mind the cricket analogy at the moment,
Yes,
but
that's right.
so is there anything else you want to cover, man?
You're out of questions?
I think. Look,
Or we're out of time?
not at all. I've got nowhere to be really. It's only 3 kids.
No, what time do you have to pick up?
I'm just conscious. Like, I don't want to go on about it if we've covered everything. We've got, I think it's obviously our audience are quite landscaper heavy.
Yeah, so let's
Want
go
to
back
make
to
sure
them
that
for
they've got the
last bit.
right.
Yeah.
They've got the right.
If
so
they've continued
I
to
guess
tune
if,
in for this long.
I don't know. Like, I was quite surprised that anyone watched it. That only one person listened to yours, but that's.
On the sound.
No, that's me.
He's getting defensive.
No,
I just want to spit the facts.
no.
Okay, so
So the only way I seem... Oh, we'll talk about that after.
landscapers.
Okay. No, just how to listen to it on SoundCloud. So I'm...
You talk about whatever
So,
you want. Man.
So
You're the guest.
I'm going to your Facebook page. I'm clicking on it. I'm
Yep.
going through. Do I need to download the app to listen to it?
Oh yeah, maybe
Yeah,
you
because
do.
it keeps clicking me
Yeah.
out
Just
while I'm
download the
driving.
app. I'm sure you got useless apps on your phone.
Okay, I should.
Yeah, that's good feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. So you, because I think if you exit out of that little window, you can listen to it on through.
Anchor, you don't need.
Yeah,
to
that's
download
how
the
I've
app.
been doing it. I haven't downloaded the app.
I don't think you need to
Um,
download Anchor. Maybe we'll look at just sharing it on Anchor.
But anyway, it's been working, and I can play it in the car on the drive here. I can listen to
Okay,
what's
that's-
going on. So, and I'm enjoying the fact that it's on audio because
you're
with all
driving.
the stuff I'm doing, I don't have a chance to watch the video. The time I'm going to watch video is before bed in the morning maybe.
Yeah.
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 I'm more wanting to produce it, but yeah.
That's why we were talking earlier about like my audiobooks and that. I've identified that I'm better off recording audio while I'm driving as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not even listening now. I'm recording my thoughts, and I don't like the sound quality's not good. And I've got a genuine feeling that we're going to set up a studio in my car, and he doesn't even know this yet, but actually have high def. Is that even a thing? What's high audio? High
High
definition audio near my head, and kind of restrict the outside noise
Yeah.
inside my car, because it's like a bit. And I get that, but I'd rather get the content out than have,
Oh yeah,
you know, like
Yeah,
ready,
yeah.
fire, aim kind of thing.
Don't worry about that too much. I mean, you got a professional setup going here, so it's good.
Yeah, we've got speakers and everything.
That's
Even
right.
got a DK.
Yeah.
So you can't. What I was going to say to you,
Okay.
do you have a Spotify account or a SoundCloud account? Do you have either?
No.
All right. Spotify account's free, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, unless you
Like
wanna-
no, because it's got ads and that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. If you want to get rid of the ads, it's
I don't know, and you don't want to buy anything new. What are we going to do? You know what we should do for Wade is we'll just email him the audio. Is it? It's on. Are you Apple or Android?
Apple.
It's on Apple. Is it on Apple?
It's on iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I should go in there somehow.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have a look at that.
Right
after.
hook.
Show me how this
All right.
works. That's cool.
DK can cut all that fluff out. So
Okay, back on track with the.
what? What are you laughing at?
We just want to wrap it up for our.
He's the video guy and he gets involved way too much.
No, he's been actually pretty good for this session.
It's my fault.
I like it.
I like to reference him. So if you're a landscaper, what do you need? So right now, if
If you're going for a prospective new client,
starting from scratch, what they've
if
got,
you're just starting a new
they
business,
got they
probably
get the contracts.
one thing we didn't cover was the PPSR registrations, which you did mention that
That
you
was
wanted
really
to talk
important
about.
to me. I wanted to understand.
But that's more for your type of business.
yeah, but
And
they can
your-
PPSR something of high value though, can't they? Like if they deliver a block of stone to site that's worth 40 grand,
Oh yes,
they'll
then
PPSR
put a-
that single piece of stone.
Yes, and put a registration on it.
or a
but
statue or
once
something.
it becomes part. Oh, if it's just a statue
Yeah.
that sits alone,
Yep.
then you can put a registry
Yeah.
interest on it. But if it becomes part of
Yep.
the building, then it's going to be much harder to register an
Because you
interest.
can't take it.
That's right.
Because
It
we
becomes part of the
PPSR'd a
building.
pump, I reckon, which you can unthread.
Yeah, your business is a bit different.
Yeah.
Right? But one point that's good for business, it's if you've got registrations on interests and you're changing, like businesses are getting sold,
Mm.
and new owners and new entities.
Yep.
They need to pay out their registrations as that happens.
Hang on
So
a
you-
sec. So if I sold Waterpro right now, I've got say 200 or 300
Yeah, all they
registrations.
need to be pulled out.
What
Not the
they-
ones you've registered.
I've
The new business
registered.
owner would take over
They'd
those.
buy them off me as part of the sale of the
Yeah,
business.
yeah, that would be
so
part.
they don't
no,
have
I'm
to
talking
redate.
about
They still date it at
somebody
2015,
that's got
2014.
registrations on your vehicles, for example.
Ah, yeah,
if
yeah,
you've got
yeah.
loans,
They have to be.
they would be notified, and
Yep.
you would pay out your loan,
Yep.
or you'd
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
redo the contract
Yep.
for the new company. All right, but what we find in the commercial collections world is that most companies don't know who they're dealing with because
Yep.
they don't get their credit apps filled out properly.
Yep.
They don't check the ABNs. They
Yep.
don't do a basic search on
Yep.
them. And then when it becomes too late, they're like, oh no, that was the previous owner's debt.
Yeah.
That's not us.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you don't know what they're doing and where they are. So then you've got to go through a skip tracing process, and which is additional costs.
Yeah.
And are you likely to find them? Yes, no, depending on what, they might have sold the business because they had debts and they need to move on, and they might have gone insolvent at that point,
Mm.
or they've just sold the business and, that was last year, those accounts. So it's not going to be a priority for them.
I know why he's standing up. He's
Yes,
got an
he's gotta
appointment
go.
in 45 minutes. PPSR, it's Personal Property Security Register. We
Came in
register.
2012, yes.
We register our clients for if they were to go broke. We're in the front line for getting payment.
Yes. So it's
we
like a
can't
mortgage.
we can't be done for preferential payment.
Yeah.
Have you seen it tested in court yet?
Tested in
Have you seen it tested? Like I think all this stuff, it's all well and good until someone goes broke big. We've got a case now where we had a PPSR on someone, and I haven't seen how it's played out. I'm thinking this will be a good test because it was only $3,000, and I
Yeah,
think
okay.
they went under owing like lots, and there was about 600 to the bank plus 2.1.
Yeah, it
total.
depends on where you fall in the registration, right?
So we were early. We were really early to the game.
yeah.
So
but
I just, yeah,
depends on the debt
yeah,
outstanding to
yeah. That's what I
obviously
want
your main
to Have you seen
secured
it play out
creditors.
anywhere?
Not in a personal situation, but our business development manager, Neil Rickards,
Yep.
he's an ex-credit manager.
Yep.
He worked for a large organisation, and this is pre-PPSR.
Yeah.
And what happened was they had sold a $50,000 piece of machinery. The company went insolvent,
Yep.
and they had already paid for that product.
Yep.
But they still had a rolling account for ongoing transactions each month, and they
Yep.
owed about $3,000 or something like that. And that the property, so the machine, fell into the liquidator's hands. But
Yeah.
because they had the registration
They got
over it, they got that back
Yep.
because he still owed some money, and they were chasing it.
Oh,
So they ended up
there's-
getting that back.
I heard one about a horse that was in stud. Sorry, DK. And the horse, like it was a champion racehorse, and it was in stud. The stud went broke. they repossessed the horse as part of that, and then the people were like, "That's our horse. It was just there, to make a bear."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Too bad. You should have put a PPSR over your horse and have your horse protected."
That's
anyway,
right.
we have to end.
Well, you got to do it on. You can do it on art. You can do it on anything.
That's right.
Not a house.
But you don't think about a horse, do you? We have to end it there because DK is a very, very noble young man, and he's going to give blood because he cares about other people.
Very good. I
And
tried
his
that
appointment
once
soon.
and I nearly passed out and felt sick for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I'm not good with needles, and that's it. We can talk about that in my podcast as well. So I'm not giving any part of me away. So anyway,
that's
thank
right.
you so much, man.
Thank you very much,
I really
Tim.
appreciate it. This has been Wade Bekesi, and thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions or listening, comment below. We'll put Wade's handles up so you can follow him. Check out his money short stuff. It's good. There's good tips. If you've got any questions around credit management, that kind of thing, get in touch with him or someone else.
Thanks a lot.
He doesn't mind. He's not here for the money.
Cheers.
But no worries, man. Thank you.